I don't care how many years he gets, even if, and I don't wish this on upon him, but even if he received the death penalty, a part of me is gone that I'll never get back. There'll never be enough justice to justify what he did. It was senseless. There is no way to describe the feeling of receiving that phone call. There's nothing that I can think of that she could have said or done to warrant his action. Guns are just not the answer, and no act of violence is the answer. Even if it wasn't gun, violence in itself is not the answer.
It didn't start with gunfire. It started with a breakup. December 2023. Two young people from the same small town decide their relationship is over. Heated, but over. 5 months later, on May 18th, 2024, one of them drives to a university campus with a loaded handgun. Before 4 p.m., 11 shots echo across Kennesaw State University. Alasia J. Franklin, 21, a Dean's List nursing student, rising junior, homecoming court representative, is shot and killed outside her dorm. The man who fired those 11 rounds was someone she had known since middle school. He wasn't an intruder. He was her past, and he refused to stay there. Within 15 minutes, he would be in handcuffs, with her phone, her car, and the weapon still in his possession. This story didn't begin on a Saturday afternoon. It began months earlier. The question here is, when did it stop being a breakup and start becoming a countdown? Welcome to Insanity True Crime. To my loyal subscribers, I pray your families remain safe. If you are new, subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel brings you the full picture, the uncomfortable truths, and the stories that deserve more than a headline. Today, we cover the murder of Alasia J. Franklin, a case that shook Kennesaw State University, devastated Cairo, Georgia, and ended in a Cobb County courtroom in February 2026 when Samuel L. Harris pleaded guilty. 4 facts you need to know before we go back. They explain exactly what happened. Harris was not a student at KSU. He drove there deliberately. He and Alasia grew up together in Cairo, Georgia, a decade of history. They had broken up. Alasia had moved on. Harris had not. When Cobb County police located him, he still had her phone, her car, and the black Glock 9mm that would be confirmed as the murder weapon. At what point was Alasia's life truly in danger? The breakup, that day on campus, or months earlier? Drop your answer in the comments. This is a story about a relationship, not just a gunshot. Alasia grew up in Cairo, Georgia, population 10,000. Her mother described her as smart, humble, and driven. Her father said medicine ran in the family. At Kennesaw State University, she majored in integrated health sciences on the nursing track. Dean's List, rising junior, homecoming court, student government association leader, founder of the Integrated Health Science Club, National Council of Negro Women member. She was building a career, a community, a version of herself that her hometown could point to with pride. Alasia dedicated herself to saving lives, learning how to monitor vitals, respond in emergencies, prevent crises. No one was there to stop hers. Remember her name. Everything she built comes to a stop on May 18th, 2024. Samuel L. Harris, 22, also from Cairo, knew Alasia since middle school. Friendship became a high school romance, on and off. By May 2024, Alasia was at university, building her future. Harris was not enrolled anywhere. No car. Back in Cairo. To those who knew them, Harris was just the familiar ex-boyfriend. Her father said he saw no warning signs. Her mother said the breakup remained cordial. There was no violent history. But what was hidden, refusal, rage, inability to let go, would explode months later.
I was kind of heartbroken and devastated, kind of like loss of words. I didn't know what to say. It was kind of like a good soul gone too soon, and my heart aches for her and her family.
Have you ever seen familiarity mask danger in a relationship? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This case is exactly that dynamic. December 2023, the breakup was heated. Both agreed to remain friends. Alasia kept moving forward, straight A's, leading clubs, on track to graduate early. Harris remained stagnant. 2 people. One accelerating, one standing still. The breakup opened the most dangerous window, the 5 months before May 18, 2024. Alasia's world looked normal. Classes, clubs, plans. Friends and faculty described her as bright, determined, selfless. Nothing in the public record shows she felt unsafe. Her mother said she trusted her judgment, You don't feel the need to tell mama everything. Harris, as far as anyone knew, had no car, no reason to be there, yet he arrived anyway. Saturday, May 18th, 2024. Late afternoon. Harris arrived at KSU near the Austin Residence Complex, carrying a black Glock 9mm. A confrontation broke out, 11 rounds fired. Allayia was killed outside her dorm. Harris took her phone, her car, and drove 10 miles to an apartment in Marietta. 15 minutes later, Cobb County police arrested him. He had not fled far. But Allayia was gone.
And it was right here where witnesses tell me they found Alaisia's lifeless body, leaving this campus with many questions. However, the only question her father has is why.
KSU police issued a secure-in-place alert. Students locked down. 36 minutes later, the lockdown lifted. Outside, first responders found a young woman shot and killed in front of her dorm. Memorials appeared. Flowers, candles, photos of Alasia smiling on homecoming court. Students and faculty carried shock, realizing the killer was not a stranger, but someone Alasia had known for years.
We were all just sitting there, like in the dorm, just like watching a movie, and then we heard like these shots go off. We saw him get in his car, like packing stuff up, and then he drove off.
Harris was found with the weapon, her phone, and her car. Ballistics confirmed the Glock 9mm fired 11 rounds. Cobb County grand jury indicted him on 6 counts: malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during a felony, carrying a weapon in a school safety zone, tampering with evidence. He remained in Cobb County Jail while the system moved toward a resolution. February 19, 2026. Cobb County Superior Court. Harris pleaded guilty. No trial. Life in prison with the possibility of parole.
I'm lost for words. Feel like my heart has been ripped out of my chest.
Go.
I never could imagine him being capable of doing something like this.
DA Sonia F. Allen remembered Alasia's life. Student leader, club founder, homecoming court, nursing aspirant, taken by someone she once knew. The plea deal confirmed the legal resolution, but her family carries a loss no law can restore. Alasia's mother, Alinda Henderson Fortner, said, "I personally am still stuck back in May. Candlelight vigils, NAACP campus petitions, and calls for domestic violence awareness followed. Students and families realized this was not a campus security failure, but a domestic violence failure." Fortner emphasized education at home, teaching children to recognize unsafe dynamics. Alasia was killed by someone she knew. Intimate partner violence kills more women than strangers. The period after a breakup, December 2023 through May 2024, is the highest risk window. Familiarity masked danger. KSU's open campus security cannot stop people already in students' lives. Protection starts at home, but it cannot end there. Institutions must treat intimate partner violence as a campus safety issue. Alasia Franklin, born November 9, 2002, died May 18, 2024. She was 21. A rising nurse, a leader, a daughter, a friend. Her story is proof. When someone cannot let go and warning signs are ignored, tragedy can strike. If you see warning signs, take them seriously. Ask for help. Protect lives before it's too late. Alasia's story forces an uncomfortable truth into the open. Most people imagine danger as a stranger in the dark, a masked figure, a random act. But statistically, that is not how most women lose their lives. It is often someone they once trusted, someone who knew their schedule, someone who had been welcomed into their family, someone who could not accept that the relationship had ended. The most dangerous period in many abusive relationships is the time immediately after a breakup. Not during the arguments, not during the visible tension, but after one person decides to move forward and the other refuses to let go. And that is what makes this case so difficult. There were no public police reports before May 18, no documented violent history, no campus warnings. To the outside world, this was just a former boyfriend. But familiarity can create blind spots. It can make warning signs feel smaller than they are. It can make control look like passion. It can make jealousy look like love. So here's the real takeaway from this case. Pay attention to escalation. If someone cannot respect a boundary, that is not persistence. It is a warning. If someone shows up uninvited repeatedly, that is not romance. It is control. If someone reacts to rejection with anger instead of acceptance, that is not heartbreak. It is risk. These are the moments where intervention matters. Friends matter. Family matters. Schools matter. Conversations about healthy relationships cannot wait until something happens. They have to happen before. Allayia was building a life in healthcare, a career centered around saving others. Her future was full of patients she would have helped, families she would have comforted, lives she would have changed. That future ended in a parking lot outside her dorm. And that is why stories like this matter. Not for shock, not for views, but for awareness. If this case made you think differently about relationships, about breakups, about warning signs, then let that awareness travel beyond this video. Share it, talk about it. And if you want more in-depth case breakdowns that go beyond the headline, subscribe to Insanity True Crime and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next case discovery. Because the next story may not start with gunfire either. It may start quietly, and quiet is often where the danger hides. Rest in power, Alasia J. Franklin.